So the last few videos have been totally silent, and I haven't even noticed. So any of you guys that are watching this channel and you notice that there wasn't any sound, I didn't. I've been using OSB, and I didn't notice that my mic was unplugged in my program. Oh well. I went back through the settings and I was like, I looked at it. And so, if something's working, I just haven't been checking the video. I just get on here, say some shit, and then, assume that it's working fine. But now I can see that the mic's working. I don't know. I'm stupid, right? Like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So the video that I was trying to put up, I want to give you guys kind of a synopsis of something that happened to me this weekend, and it has to do with all of us are making the same choice. So, what is that choice? If you think about what we do every day, is we share ourselves with each other, right? You reproduce yourself, your own energy, and you can't reproduce something that you are not, right? So everything reproduces according to its own understanding. The one cell becomes two cells, or right, because it just replicates itself. After an egg is fertilized, this is birth. You look under a microscope, one becomes two, then two become four, and so it kind of matches the same Garden of Eden story, right? Because first there's man, and the reason that man's first is because that you're creating first, and then you can't attract until there's two of you, right? There's nothing to attract if you're just by yourself. It's all masculine energy first. So, that's why if you're in an opposite order, if you're trying to pull first before you create, you're kind of in an opposite, natural flow of creation. So that's what I was trying to get at. And this weekend, I went down for Eclipse Fest for the solar eclipse, and it went right over Crater Lake in Oregon. So we went down there. There was this venue called Eclipse Fest where Smash Mouth played their last gig. It was a blast. I had a great time. Went down there with my brother and one of his friends. Got to know him a lot better. Had a lot of fun. And Friday night, I released some stuff in my chakras, or my heart chakra. Every blockage you have in your body is around your heart, right? It doesn't matter if it's your third eye or your throat or your sacral chakra. All of it is coming into your heart and then back out of your heart. And so for a long time, I've struggled, like we all struggle, with, the pain in our environment, right? When you're, we see all this, stuff going on in the Middle East and people attacking each other. Well, once you understand that everybody's making the same choice, it helps alleviate that pain. You don't want to. All you can do is say the truth and plant seeds of truth. None of us are responsible for each other. We're only responsible for ourselves. And so when we grow internally, then that changes our environment from the inside out. You can't change somebody at a level that you're not at yet. And so when you help people understand, how all connected we are and how we're just reproducing ourselves, then that's what creates frequency. That 369 equation is explaining that relationship of creation, replicating yourself. And then the frequency is the number of times you're replicating yourself. And then the attraction, the other side, the negative side of the field, is what you get back after that creation. So all of us are creating energy and receiving energy in return. And the higher vibrational energy is when we're giving out of our heart space without any expectation of return, and in a pure form of love, right? We're just end up co-creating, and we're not judging our external environment, because everyone's at a different state of understanding, but they're still you making the same choice over and over. They're replicating themselves according to their own understanding. So if all you experience is fear, you're just going to replicate fear, right? Unless you run into somebody who can transmute that energy, who has a higher state of awareness. So that's what I was trying to get at earlier today. but I uploaded a silent video, so now you guys can hear what I was saying. So what I went through is, I finally released that pain into my emotional body, where, it was just, sometimes it's painful when you're trying to get people to work and co-create together, but people have a tendency not to trust one another, right? And they don't, especially if you're successfully independent, there's no reason, you don't feel like there's any reason for you to, be forced to go work with somebody else. And so, it can turn you a little miserly, right? A little isolated. Because all of us really would just want, in our heart space and our heart of hearts, our little boys and little girls that all live inside, all of us just want to go outside and play underneath the sun together. And, the systems that we've created have prevented that. And the only reason those systems even exist is because we misunderstand this simple state of reality. You have to make a judgment in your mind as far as, if there's a difference in potential between you and somebody else. And once you realize that we're all exactly the same, making the same decision over and over according to our own understanding, then the only difference between any of us is the level of our own, of this vessel's understanding, right? Each of our understanding. And so freeing those blockages around your heart will enable you to get out of the mindset of feeling like you're worse or you're better than someone else. Everything, this entire reality is doing that. And the frequency increases through pure love, because you're just in an almost pure creative form where you're just creating from your heart space. And the only reason that you don't do that is when it gets blocked and you feel like, you can't reproduce in your environment, or you can't, be yourself, uniquely you. So, yeah. So I was laying there in a cot at night, and I once I released that, I could feel myself get to a state where I was just like a little boy again, just giddy, because all you're doing now, you're just in pure creative mode, and there's no limit, because now you're not thinking. It's like, oh, everybody's doing this, right? Even if you decide to, like, you don't want to play nice, it's like, okay, well, why would you do that? What's the matter? Right? And so that's how you feel. And then I cried harder because I hadn't felt that way for as long as I can remember. Never felt like I had the heart of a little boy, where everything was vibrant and colorful, and everything just felt like it was just fun. Everything became fun. And so, it stays that way as long as you're not consuming things that people are, building that are just super negative. So in order to stay in that state, you have to stay in kind of pure creation mode, right? You don't want to start watching a bunch of people just creating fear over and over, because you will consume that, and then you have to remember what it was like and overcome those boundaries again, right? So spend a lot of time in nature. Just be a little boy or little girl. Love you guys. Now, this is a pretty simple video. I just kind of want to get this message across, and I didn't get it. Obviously, the last 3 videos I uploaded were silent videos. They weren't black and white, right? I mean, maybe I should have made them black and white if they were silent, right? I could have done subtitles or something. I don't know. I could have added subtitles to the last video, but what's the point? So, and it becomes a lot easier to forgive, right? Because for one thing, you start to understand that all of us came from a place of darkness where we didn't understand what we were doing. Why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way when somebody says something? And when you can look at it from a higher perspective and see that everything is growing and everybody's learning these lessons, then it's a lot easier to have empathy for yourself where you were at, and then it's easier to recognize where somebody else is at when they just don't understand that all we're doing is just creating either love or fear, but it's still the same choice. You're still creating, and then you're attracting There's two well, it's not the attraction isn't a choice, because you're naturally just going to attract what you're creating, but the choice is always creation. You just don't, depending on where you're at emotionally and mentally, is what you're going to create. And you can't duplicate something that's not you. So yeah, love you guys. I'll catch you later.